Greet my peoples. Welcome and welcome back. This is Arts of the Round Table. My name is Mello, and today I'm going to be messing around with composition and dynamic posing for this Batman versus Bane drawing that I'm doing. We're all anticipating the Batman Nightfall animated movie, I think. Some of us are. I'm not really anticipating that much. It's just an iconic, I don't know, an immense milestone, an iconic event with Bane, introduction of Bane and the breaking of the bat. So anyway, yesterday, while I was doing just some sketching and messing around, I drew this arm here. I've been thinking about more dynamic. All right. I wanted to do more dynamic compositioning, especially when it comes to foreground, midground, and background. So this is me practicing some foreground. I'm going to add Batman to the midground, and then I'm going to figure out how to include our background. And I keep forgetting, I might have to put some of this stuff away. All right. Because I keep messing up. So that's all I'm doing. And this would have been a really great opportunity to do some thumbnails, which I don't do very often. But it would have helped me out immensely. Also, I probably should have taped my paper. All right, okay. Finding it. I'm finding where I was. So the idea, holy mackerel, was it this way? Drawing while talking. How you doing, bud? It says, good morning, Mello. Good morning to you too, sir. Really great seeing you again. Same here. I hope your sister's well. I hope you guys survive. I'm glad you guys survived each other. You saw the awesome work I did over the past week, and I have been very well. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you're here. I got my... all right. I'm just trying to work on some composition, kid. I probably should find a way to tape this, but I want to do, this is for 2-point perspective, so I'm going to put a number 1 here for now, and a number 2 here, so that I won't lose what I'm trying to do, and I'll show you in a second. I kind of painted myself into a corner here, drew myself into a corner here, but that's okay. Because like I said, I've said this several times, I don't do a lot of thumbnails, and I don't do a lot of practicing and sketching and that type of stuff, because I want to fail in real time. And that might seem very self-deprecating, or what is it, sadomasochistic? I want to figure it out on the page. But, not to say I haven't been thinking about it. He asks, what is that? What is this sheet? This sheet is from a collection of sheets. I don't know if you can hear me up there. For perspectives. How you doing, Sabo? Good morning. So yeah, here you go. Arohi, yeah. So these sheets are just cheat sheets for to help with perspective. This is 1 point. What I don't like about this, I can't really tell where that singular point is or the horizon line, because none of these lines are straight enough. So the horizon line is kind of like right in between those two. But anyway, I would have to do some marking to find the right one, but we ain't about that life right now. So that's 1 point. I'm currently using 2-point perspective on my Batman versus Bane spherical perspective. 5-point perspective. I would love to do something like this. You guys may have to give me an idea of what to draw in that circle. And then there's 3-point perspective. Some of these are very hard to look at. It's hard to focus on some of these. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a couple of tools that I use for perspective and composition. Usually after the fact. I rarely pull these out as I'm drawing. I try to do as much freehand or free-eyed as humanly possible, but you know, and then realize that my stuff is all messed up. That's fantastic, DW. That's great to read there. Sister and family are good. Your pops does a yearly, week-long, 100-mile-long bike ride, and the route ended near her house. It was great to see them. Niece especially. 1-year-old, truly adorable, aren't they? Don't you just want to grab them and inhale all of that good, innocent energy? Just babies, man. The perspective sheets, yeah. If I these are from Koala Tools. They come in a pack. Breaking stuff. Koala Tools perspective transparency grids. This is 4 light boxes. It says a pack of 4. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 5. I've had them forever, and I don't use them, so. Alright, so that was 3. I think I've showed you guys these before. These are my, these are mainly for photography. But these, it's really cool to kind of like reverse engineer and go through. That's really cool. So what's really cool is kind of like using this and looking over old art or just already published art. See with a, like, I mean, I'm sure this painter, Norm here, what's his first name here? Earl Norm. I doubt he used it, but isn't that cool how that just fits perfectly in there? That vampire body joining to the damsel, who then is grabbed by this guy, and the composition is just pow. That's one of my favorite compositional guides there. And then there's this, of course, the Fibonacci spiral. It's hard to see, so I apologize, but it's in there. That as well, with the color scheme, drawing your eye to the detail of the woman, right? These dudes knew what they were doing, man. They weren't just, I'm telling you, I think sometimes I have taken, I take, you take, we've taken for granted the amount of artistic purity these dudes were were sharing with us the rule of thirds. You guys have this on your phone. You can always adjust your phones to have this grid available. It would be nice to have some of the other ones, but that's what these are for. I think these are for, there's a contraption you can put on your camera and you slide these lenses, not even a lens, these little sheets of glass right in there to help with composition. So these covers are so well done. I've been looking at this one. I haven't started reading it yet. I think I've read the first page. I've just been amazed by the artwork of it. Lately, I've actually started to put together, started to actually read them. But anyway, see that, man? Isn't that cool? Third of the page, they're right dead center. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with. So these are the kind of studies that I do so that it won't feel like studying. It's like reverse engineering in your mind and trying to figure these things out. So I'm gonna move this over. Hopefully I can find my spot. So Bane is gonna be over here. So I have all this space here to play with Batman. Ooh. I'm gonna use that. And I was thinking of using, this is usually my favorite, and it's already, what's gonna happen is Batman's gonna be right in this window. Once you start doing these, I've felt that rule of three, you start seeing the world that way. You start seeing your page that way. You start seeing how these markings work out. And even if you have a blank page, your mind starts dividing them that way. Anyway, so got my Bane. I wanted to, so he's going to be my foreground. Batman is going to be here. And then I'm going to figure out what to do with the background in terms of, if I wanted the Batcave. And I think the only way I'm going to be able to show that, hold on, I got to find my line again. I didn't do myself any favors. Okay, there you go. But what I'm doing now, the tediousness of what I'm doing now is, I want this to be a wall. So Batman is going to be leaning against a wall here. One of the things that I've also noticed in some of these compositions and some of these stories is that the perspective grid can change from foreground to midground to background. And I wish I had well, that kind of sets up, you know, this piece of Conan here overlooking the place. There's a 3-point perspective here for that background castle. I got a couple of places here that I'm streaming on, and then that's a separate, maybe not, who knows. Anyway, there's a way you can do it. That's cool. Exploring some caves. Alright, so I need this to be dominant because that's going to be my wall. It may not even be a wall. I just want Batman there. And I want to use some of this perspective to draw him in perspective in an extreme angle. Once you start putting these lines in, man, it does begin to look confusing. I don't know how these guys did it. All right, so that. And I didn't quite know how I was going to draw Batman just yet. If I wanted him recoiling or anything of that nature. But if you guys know the story, this is where Bane breaks the Batman's back. Jeez, how slippery are these dang. Is that what I wanted? Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can figure this out. So, I gotta find a way to remove my eye from Bane's arm there. I don't want to be distracted. Let's see. But I want it to be at an angle, so. And as long as I have Batman's hand right here, I'm gonna go as rough as humanly possible. Hopefully you guys can see. It is light outside. If we're looking from the bottom, I'm trying to follow these lines here. These are going to be my guidelines. To his anatomy. I almost want bats to be bracing for impact. I'm trying to imagine if I was being charged to draw this cover for DC, how I would, it would say, you know, what was it was the Detective Comics? I have to find it. And I'm trying to go for that era of comics where everybody was uber muscular. As if that has ever changed. Yeah, man, the Kelly Jones long-eared. It'll help with the perspective lines. I might have to move it. But at least the perspective lines is going to help me stay in lane. That's going to be the bad symbol there. I'm going to try anyway. You started reading that after the first trailer came out. It was very dark, violent, which I don't really enjoy, though. Did notice that they kind of redid heavily homage with Tom King's. Yes, yeah. I haven't read it in a long time. I haven't read it ever like when the run came out. I wasn't that much of a Batman dude in terms of collecting the books. So I missed a lot of it, but who didn't see? All right. Hey, I can cheat. I don't need to put his leg in there if I can slide in his cape. I really want to sell that Bats is almost frightened. And he knows the inevitable's coming. I don't know if I'll be able to. We'll see. That arm. So one thing that I really took from Todd McFarlane, who he took from Hogarth, was the dynamic placement of arms and limbs, going different angles, like I tried to do with Bane's arm here. This part, the shoulder, the tricep to the elbow is heading away from the viewer. The elbow is at the viewer, and then we go away, and then we come back. So that crisscrossing nature, and then using the Venom tube to convey three-dimensionality in planes. So I really want to do the same type of motion here with Batman's arm going left, away, going forward, and going back. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to make him bracing against the wall here. And plus, if it looks crazy, it doesn't have to look accurate. But I'll take that, a little mellowism for Wednesday workshop. One thing I've been trying to, one thing, I keep saying one thing I'm trying. The fact is I'm trying a lot of different things, alright? It's that way, fingers. It may not make sense, but who cares? None of this is real anyway. Believability over reality. That's one thing that I've been pushing myself to do as the artist, as the creator of these worlds or whatever it is you're doing, you are the only guide. So if your skies of clouds are made of squares, you have to make it so that your viewers accept it. Period. Doesn't matter if it looks weird. See what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I've been looking at and studying from these guys, is that you accept their style, you accept it. Alright. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I thought I was going to swing his cape in there, but... so we was talking about Nightfall. Yes, the violence. Yes. Yeah. And some of the story is pretty violent as well. And I think that they really wanted to try to push Batman that way, and I think DC had cold feet. So they instead gave that violence to peripheral characters, or like Jean Paul and Azrael, and then they did the same with Jason Todd. I was thinking of breaking his arm. Speaking of violence. All right. All right, so I'm gonna have to use something here. All right. But I haven't read it. I have a digital copy, and I was gonna buy Nightfall, the comics, but I don't know if I want to. I'm trying to do as much as this. Not that it matters without a reference. I'm sure I'm gonna need it eventually from my dolls there, my models. But I'm trying to grab as much from memory. All right, so. These grids, I might be able to use them for just to create the background there. Who knows? I really wanted to have like Batman holding on to railings or something, like he's trying to brace himself, he's trying to get away. That arm should be up here. Again, this would have been a great time for me to practice thumbnails, just to see what it was going to look like. But I kind of like just going for it. All right, if his back leg is over here. This is where the angle I'm going for defeats me here. Really happy I have the DC app. I can try any comic I want. If I don't like them, move on. No buyer's remorse. Oh yeah, that's dope. Is the app inexpensive? Is there any way to have where you have to pay for? It's not very dynamic, is it? I may have to go back to the drawing board here. It's kind of difficult to draw Batman vulnerable, isn't it? I don't mind the bottom half. I gotta find what's going on up here. Hey, that's not bad. DL Arts. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. As I'm struggling here, my friend. My wireframe to help me. Kelly Jones had this amazing way of doing these elongated figures that didn't make sense. They all had like a ton of like rib muscles. So let's go for it. That's the kind of like the cool thing about this stuff. Just go for it. Find it. Put it on the paper. Go for it. Now, because I'm having a bit of trouble, I am trying to reverse engineer my mannequin. Not that it matters. I'm not trying to go full realism here. That's not the point. But I needed to create the proper weight and stance that I'm looking for. His neck is, it needs to be higher, his head. His chest is huge. I don't know if my ears will work if the Jeffrey Jones. Is it Jeffrey? Simon Beasley ears? This one here? Yeah, I didn't know where I was going with it. All I knew is that I wanted it to be prominent and, happy to say, new reference. Not that it matters, guys. Use reference as much as possible. And I used a bit of knuckling, of my own knuckling here. Paulo Pantera? I don't know if I say his name right. He has a way of doing ab muscles that are just so dynamic. And the only problem I have with the way he does it is that he gives those tight abs to everybody, male and female. And they just look sculpted on. But it's so dynamic that, and so his style to anybody else, you'd be like, he stole it. You gotta do the lower abs, the crotch, the bat cheeks, and then the quads. I didn't go as extreme as I wanted to. I wanted this leg to be kind of like in front of you. But then it just looks like he got a giant leg. That is not. Peeps, my peoples, it is not. I can't seem to see it. Well, I can't seem to put on paper what I want to see. Alright. We might have to do some cheating. Just means I'm going to have to life out some of this stuff and hide it. Could it be the way the head is shaped? I had another bout of compositional idealing. That's not even a word. Sometimes I'll have a vision of something that I would like to see. And I'll show you guys. Because maybe I need to just look at something else. The struggle is real. But it's coming. Maybe we should try something else. I like that upper body. I don't like... What is it that I don't like about it? Let's see. Doesn't sit right there, does he? How about this way? Make him feel like he's cornered. Try something else. Hopefully I didn't draw this too dark. Give me 1 second. Please. I like that face though. I wish there was better erasers, I tell you that much. Can we invent a better eraser? Anyway, that's okay. That's what these are for. That's what these workshops are for, figuring it out. Alright, I think that's going to be as good as I can get. Alright, so, how about we do... Let's change the perspective now. I still kind of like that skewed look. Yeah, right? There's something going on here. It almost needs to be... And I don't mind the skewed look because, and I think that could be, that's why I need to, I need to find a way to ignore this piece. I kind of dig that there. Gives it that scale of ass kicking. Alright, let's see something. It's close enough. See if we can go close enough. Alright. I just need that as my floor, so I need his legs there. Some of the lines stay the same. This one needs to go here. All right. How about... Really, the most important guide I have to keep in mind are these here. If I'm drawing a comic or a cover, are these outer lines. So as long as my homie is in here, I'm good. So he'll still be overwhelmed. I like how this looks like the divot of the shoulder muscle. So let's use that. I can still use some foreshortening. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Alright, so the ghosting of this Batman image, I can see some... I don't know if you guys can see the change. I can keep the ears. I'm gonna beat his face up a bit, but I just need it in here. How about having him... Should I have him holding his gut? Neil Adams used to do this thing where Batman's expressions, not just him, Giordano and I like that shot of the hand here. I gotta give it something to do. We're on the same page, bud. You see me, DW? He's a little bit closer, a little bit more dynamic shot. That's going to be the shoulder. That's going to be the bicep. And that's going to be the forearm. Maybe I could put him saying no to stop. Stop. Writhing in pain. All right. Yeah, I like it better. Top of the head. I can keep the ears, which I love. This eye goes here. Let's see if I can keep some of that Neil Adams Batman look. Then Neil Adams Buscema. Mouth is too big, but I am digging so far what's happening. I'm going to be bouncing off those two. I'll worry about the cape later. All right. Thank you, dear. Yeah, we was talking earlier about believability and just following along with the artist, accepting what they give us because of they're just their level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Being loyal to their style. Again, square clouds. But there's an artist, Louis Creative, that is going gangbusters with his artwork. He has such a unique, dark and gritty style that it's just really great to look at. It's horrifying in some of the things that he portrays. You don't see it that way, but that's not what I mean. I don't see it that way, but it's like they're not meant that way. They're just so unique and amazing, and trying to capture some vitality here. Let me zoom in this work. We gotta tell some stories, so let's I gotta practice how to draw busted lips. Swollen lips. The thing about that storyline is that Bruce really did get put through his paces. And that was the whole point. To be broken physically, mentally, and then to break his spirit. It's my best Beasley face. The actor for the Batman animated series that did Bane's voice was great. I understand what, I guess after the fact, what Tom Hardy did. Did make it iconic. That is such a stylized looking Batman face. Stars Dragons. How you doing? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Let me know if you celebrate. Alright, okay, so he's buckled over. Now I'm kinda like, let's see. Should I make him holding his stomach? What would be a story beat? I enjoy it, and then I don't enjoy it so much. Maybe just fighting. Should I have him start trying to throw a fist? Alright, guys and gals. Are we fighting here? You the bestest. Employee of the year, Downs. Employee of the year. That coffee hot? That coffee hot. All right. I'm digging the evolution here. And it usually has one smaller and curved. So she said, and that's inappropriate. This is kind of like a weird Azraello Jones, Neil Adams looking Batman. All right. You know, the one thing that I've noticed that really holds me back sometimes is my constant desire or need to try to make things look believable and realistic. I blame that on my schooling. When I was doing digital art, I wanted to do so much realism. I love realism. But realism sometimes holds back imagination. Caleb! How you doing, man? Good morning. Is it still morning? Alright, so why don't we make him... If this arm is out, that means this leg is here. Yes, I used to draw digital. When I went to school for graphic design and communication, it was in the... I graduated in 2000, and I was introduced to Photoshop and Illustrator and fell in love with the tools, the digital tools. And I loved the challenge of drawing on a tablet. But back then, the tablet didn't have a monitor on it. The way they do now. I'm trying to find the body that fits this dude's face. And his face is swollen. Yeah, I'll show you some stuff. Where is my book? Where is my super suit? I always put my stuff away. And then I can't find... Okay, I see it. When I was doing digital, I really fell in love with doing portraits. So then I got into this whole realism look. Look at them muscles, says Saboteur. Alright, I think that's a base that I can build on. Hopefully I don't have to erase that, because that came out pretty good. Pray for me, guys. Alright, should I have him fist here, fist here? Oh, no, okay, no. Batman is busted up. So, broken arm it is. So, dislocated shoulder. So it's going to be just hanging downwards. CDW, we woke up this morning and chose violence. Just put my shapes in, my landmarks. I'm going to try to mimic, just not as muscular. It's going to be that. I was just looking through some what's the one I'm looking for? I don't know if that it's not hanging. I have to make sure that the arm hangs straight down. My paper's at an angle, so all right. Let me do this, do this, do this. Thanks, Sabo. Appreciate you. All right, so I'm gonna do the knuckle to the shoulder right there. That's gonna be my I almost cheated. I almost grabbed my my figurine. And I'll show you why I wanted to look at it here. This figurine, my Sylvester here, because he has this weird fleshy, I got like 3 cameras, so I apologize. Let me move this closer. He has this weird fleshy texture, so he gets almost realistic folds and stretches. Sorry, I keep moving. Trying to compensate for a bunch of cameras. So I want to get that crease right there. All right. So I'm going to cheat. So that's going to be a fold right here. Jane here, how are you? Make the folds. Do. Okay, I think that works. And then the wrists right here. Is that better? Yeah. It needs to look awkward. It needs to look like you know how you don't want anything hanging completely vertical and correct. But we need it for this. We need it because his arm is broken. And then to sell it, I'm gonna have his fingers all pointing in the. Which is hard to do. Trying to draw something loose that looks like it's loose and weightless. He needs a bigger arm. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add folds because it looks painful. And he does have his suit. No broken limbs, it's just his arm is twisted out of socket. Sorry, bats, but you'll survive. How we doing? How we doing? Scooch it up. One cool trick, or something that I figured out while I was doing this Bane arm and how I did the veins here, I used the side of the color pencil and just it allows some really cool lines and shading. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Get rid of this line. All right. So he's in paint. That means that he can. There's some space here, so now we can have him kind of like kneeling here, one leg here, the other one back here. And this is my floor, so I am good. I'm still good. That's my floor plane here. Right, that was the new I don't know if that's where I'm gonna put his foot, but it's close enough. Sometimes drawings like this and these kind of not challenges, but these challenging artwork where you're just kind of finding as you go is more beneficial, I think, for your train of thought. Would it have helped if I planned a bit more? Heck yeah. If I would have done thumbnails, absolutely. But I think you guys would have missed the the beauty of storytelling and art and figuring it out. Yeah. You're always torn between the detective version of Batman and the brawler. He always starts as one, right? I think he always starts as a detective and then it's on like Donkey Kong. That arm is... Alright, so now I gotta figure out this front arm. That leg has gotta move. But I'm beginning to see a bit better. And what I can do is I can actually have his cape. So if this is going to be our plane, we can use the cape as our visual perspective grid. Namin? And you can hide stuff behind it. But I still gotta throw a leg back here somewhere. When I do fists or just anything that has to do with the hands, there's a couple of simple geometric shapes that I try to put out. Obviously, I try to line up my knuckles with circles. And then I do a kind of like a cone for top of the palm. And then see if it'll fit in there somewhere. All right. Should I give him batarangs, Wolverine style? Like has is Batman using weapons? Sorry, I don't mean to be sipping my Joe in your ear. Let me move over. Unless you're into that sort of thing. Okay, so what are we doing now? You know, one of my first ideas I had was I wanted Batman to be facing off in the old boxing pose. I thought it would be great. Do Adam West Batman in that pose. I'm gonna tear his suit up. There's a lot to digest in here, I'll tell you that much. Sharpen your tools. And nothing worse than dull pencils. I have one in the chamber. All right. So now, where are we? We're struggling here. I'm gonna have to use them. Where's my dude at? All right. That's one arm. Let's see. We can have him fist. I don't know if I want to put the fist there, but I need to have that shot. This one in particular is such a versatile figure. The hard part will always be if I give him, will I be using all the musculature? That's the one thing. You have to kind of use a bit of a restraint with some of these figures, you guys. I do like that hand, the way it looks. What I like them the most for is to get good shading. They're so well modeled and articulated and detailed that you can get some really good shadows. Realistic shadows, in a sense. Hard shadows, but... What are these guys called? This is a Roman key 1/12 figure. And I can pause. Well, you know what? I'll see if I'll put it up. I've put it up on my on my community page before, but I'll do it again. I want this leg. All right. So the trick is to get it in perspective here. So that's the traps, the shoulders, the chest. We are in 3D space, so there, the guts, but it goes backwards. I mean, away from us, and then around right here. It starts coming forward because he's low to the ground. Oh, you're welcome, man. Anytime. One thing I have to also work on is when I'm doing anatomy. The legs are a lot bigger than I normally draw them. Just gotta do more of it. All the time, more of it. More studying of figures, male and female, more studies of foreshortening. all of it. I don't know if any of his upper body is going to be shown that much, but we want it in there. This Batman is huge. Why not? Why not let him be huge? Now I gotta make the arm bigger. Did that change anything? Yeah. It's too light, I'll show you guys. I gotta ask if Saboteur is still on the chat. Do your pages be filled with blue marks, man? I don't know how you keep track of what you're looking at. You also have an eraser, I think, that is in the form of a pencil. Is that right? When I was watching you paint a drawing last night on Omer's channel, I was trying to look at your tools. All right. The twist, the arm. This is the wrist. This is like a ball joint right there. All right. Something like that. It's okay to go bigger than oh, even better, he's dragging him. He's dragging. Now 140. I will be doing another video later. I'll be on live again later today. That doesn't look right. Did I do it too much? Too big? It's like a monkey's arm, gorilla's arm. And I'm going to be painting this afternoon instead of drawing. So I'm going to go as far as I can go with this. And then I'm going to go into some painting. I was able to finish my Megatron piece. So that was fun. I varnished it yesterday. That was sphincter clenching. I'm always afraid when spraying a liquid onto gouache. But it worked out really good. So I'll share that with you guys before I end this stream this morning. But I'm going to be painting, or starting to paint, my own characters that I've been working on. I always liked the detail of less detail on the cowl, more detail on the figure. Let's see if I can play with that on some of this. Just leave detail where the neck stress would be. All right. I think that's where it would be instead. They say the hand is about the size of the face. Palm to nose. Let's see if that's true. He loved it. I was very happy that he was happy about it. Jay Neer, thank you for swinging through always. I appreciate you. Have a fantastic rest of your day. But yeah, he enjoyed it. I showed him a still image of it. So now I just gotta ship it out. Yeah, I can't wait to do more metallics rendering and textures. Alright, what am I going to do with this hand? I kind of hit it back there, didn't I? Alright, that's going to be the bicep. I'm just going to add a vein there. I'm gonna just have to put a fist here. We could always do that. The Kirby fist, just put a square. And do always one knuckle up. goes in. Sorry, I got quiet. It happens sometimes, right? You end up in your groove. Plus, I'm trying to add as much little noodling so that I can just figure out how to do some detail later on when I start sharpening some of these lines. I'm going to erase a little bit and then hammer in some of these lines. Or solidify them is what I meant. And I can hide his gut. This leg is bothering me. I feel like the knee should be up here somewhere. Legs, man. Legs in foreshortened. Pain. Pain to do right. Even when you're looking at reference, it just kind of looks weird for the eye to make sense of some of those lines. Maybe just my eyes. I know there's a method to do it. I'll figure it out. I gotta just do some studying. That's the worst part. Everything is a study. Too old to go back to school to study. Ugh, ugh. Give me 1 second. What's up, Chris? Nothing. But also, it's one of those things that I was talking about earlier. Always trying to make it look believable or realistic. No, man. As long as it's readable, then it shouldn't matter. Then you should be okay. I'm getting a Doug Mensch Beasley looking Batman feel, and I'm okay with that. Capes, I don't like capes either. Should be this way. I think Bats' face should be smaller, but we're gonna be okay. We're gonna keep him that way. His broken hand is giving me trouble too. Well, it shouldn't be easy, right? DL Art says this is looking great. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm going through my own struggles here, but I appreciate you. Gotta stay within my lines. That hand is gonna kill me. It's all killing me. DL Arts, how you doing? Hopefully you can hear me. Can y'all hear me okay? Can you hear me? Am I muted? I'm not muted. I shouldn't be. Yeah, okay. This is going to be the bat symbol. DL Art says, how long have I been drawing? If you're talking about today, this morning, almost 2 hours. If you're talking about my lifetime, closer to 30 years. More than 30 years. 30, oh man, that's a long time. Professionally, maybe 10. On YouTube, 2.5, maybe 3. Even though I started a channel on YouTube about 8 years ago. DL Art says, you look like Jim Lee drawing. See, man, I appreciate that. I'll never say a bad thing about that. I'm a huge fan, who isn't, of Jim Lee. Jim Lee is one of those artists that is, in my opinion, the Steven Spielberg of comic book art. Right? When you go see a Steven Spielberg movie, recent or old, you'll always know that it's going to be amazing looking. It may not be always a great story, maybe hit or miss, but you know you're going to walk into something that is grade A, professionally done, and that to me is Jim Lee. And to continue those comparisons, like for the big four, Lee, Liefeld, McFarlane, and Larson, all of those cats that we grew up watching or reading, and I'll say me. I think McFarlane is kind of like James Cameron, or was. I think he kind of, not anymore, was more of a James Cameron. James Cameron to me was one of those directors that puts you in there. Like, I know, looking at some of McFarlane's they're all old now. Spider-Man, he really did put you in the sky, in the swing with Spider-Man. And then there's Liefeld, who to me is kind of like the Michael Bay, right? And those type of directors that it's just make it loud, make them sexy, make them loud. Story, meh, who cares? But each of them, in one way or another, made us all want to be filmmakers or comic artists. Alright, so now I'm just going to put these lines here because I think I'm going to make this the back cave. So I want to get cave-like feel. And do stalactites in the background. But I'm going to use this makeshift circular, even though it's still following the grid we created earlier. And it gets our guys in there. This leg is bothering me. These are fascinating. Oh, my director comparisons. Yeah, I've been thinking about that lately. How I would describe them. Figure out what to do here. Maybe it's just the way I have the hand. That means that the thumb is in the inside. I have to dangle my arm here so I can. If I really wanted it to look broken, that means that it has to be this way. Oof, that looks painful. I think sometimes you just gotta fart them out, man. Fart it out. Yeah, didn't we give dap already? Yeah, we get sad dap. I'll give you another dap if you want. Oh, hold on, guys. I love you too, buddy. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you. They are my rock, man. They are my rock. And I have to give them the utmost respect every time because Pop Dukes ain't working. And for the first time in a long time, in all time, they are supporting me, trying to do this and trying to figure this out and be a professional artist, and knowing how sometimes it's a very selfish profession. It takes, and sometimes it doesn't give back at all. Sometimes it takes a very long time for it to give back, and for people to be well off about it. So, you know, yeah, I am humbled every day because of them. And I can see how, you know, the strength that they have, and the love that they have, the maturity that they show. So, I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm going to try to keep that squared. So, we did pretty good. I think we did pretty good here. I think it changed completely from where it started. From the standing, from the perspective, from the composition. I am going to redo. There's something about this leg that's really bothering me. It has to be placement. So, I'm going to remove that. But in the meantime, I'm going to thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. I really appreciate you, always. And I will be back later on this afternoon. I will be painting. I'm going to start painting these first. My main character, Ifo. And her brother, Enix. I think what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to add the wash like this, and then set it aside, and then I'm going to start painting. Speaking of metals and metallics, I'm going to be doing that first, so I can if I can do that sort and let it pop off, that is definitely going to give me that type of oomph to push forward here. Dark blues, some smoky atmosphere in the background, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think it'll be fun to try to bring these characters, these people, back more to life. I like that. My son Chris looks very similar to this kid, and I wonder. My family's my muse, so. And it's no surprise that my heroes are siblings. I have my twins. My younger kids are twins. And they got an older brother. And although they're not twins, they're close in age, so that's what I'll be doing later on today, guys. If you want to check me out, check out the gouache workshop. If you have any questions on how I put down gouache and paint and start my processes, jump on that stream later on this afternoon around 3 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard. That's what I'll be doing. This is the piece that I did for my homie, my brosif, Megatron. You see how glossy it is? That's because of the varnish. Considering how it was bothering me to look at the shiny canvas, I actually love how the varnish took care of this. Look at that. I think it was JOM that we started talking about adding a bit of metallic. Added a bit more metallic detail, sharpened up the black, and that's it. Sprayed this bad baby, and I'm waiting for it to cure. It should cure. I feel like spraying it again. There's some blank spots like you see right here, but I don't know if I want to add another coating. What do you guys think? Yay, nay? Another coating of varnish. It looks, I'm super proud of it. I'm almost ashamed to say that I should keep it. I'm gonna keep it. But that is not how I is. It even brightened the eyes, man. The eyes were looking a bit dull, but now, because everything is such a cold gray, purples and blues, is such cold atmosphere, and then the heat from the eyes really is vibrant. I wish I would have added a bit more for a glow, but it is what it is. I could do it after, I guess. They say you can go over this, but I'm not gonna. But yeah, that is it. Signed in the bottom. Mellow 2K26. That is more. So, I do like it. It came out really good. I'm going to ship it out within the next couple days. I did scan it in. And I'm going to have limited run of prints available. If you guys want one, check out my Etsy store. I'll promote it on my Etsy for a bit, but just so I can see if I can recoup, have it come out. Yeah, but that is it. So fam, I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys later on this afternoon. This is Arts of the Round Table. My name is Mellow. That's Bane. That's Batman. And God bless you. I love you. Mean it. And until next time, I will draw you later. Bye.